Microsoft wants to become the world's largest AI factory, and OpenAI might soon replace the iPhone. Welcome. This is the Marketing Matters podcast. I'm sure you're wondering what are these highlights and what does it mean? And we're going to unpack each one of these events. Now, Microsoft had several announcements, and most of these announcements were largely them propping up the advancements that they're making in the AI. Microsoft has a huge partnership or a very important partnership with a company called OpenAI, which is currently, in all fairness, the leading AI company. And now, what this partnership with AI is allowing them to do is that they're also able to develop different AI solutions. Now, the main theme for this Microsoft Build event was agentic AI, and we shall talk more about that. Now, what this will allow is that it will allow Microsoft, or Microsoft promises that they're going to build or to develop AI agents in all their suite of services. Azure, we have Copilot, we have Fabric, we have the Dynamics 365. Azure, for those who use the Microsoft Enterprise solution, Azure is like a cloud solution for their. It started out actually as an online solution for them to offer cloud storage platform. We know we have Google Drive, now called we have Google Cloud for the enterprise solution. We have the Amazon Web Services, normally known as AWS, and Microsoft had Azure. Now, Azure has now been renamed to Azure AI Foundry. And why this renaming, or what makes this thing very important? It's because for those of you who might be using the Microsoft Office solution, and soon will likely be using their cloud solution, we have this Azure AI Foundry solution, which will now allow users, mainly the people who are subscribing to their cloud solution, to be able to build their own AI applications, integrate all this with the developer tools, assuming you have a company, or you're a company that is specifically offering one service. If you have a developer in that firm, Microsoft will allow you soon to be able to have your AI developer to have your developers build applications into the different suites of services that this company offers. First of all, you have to understand that this events, Microsoft Build, Google I/O, Apple WWDC, these events are usually targeted. The main audience is usually developers. However, most companies have been using this to launch products. Like Apple uses it to launch their iOS and any other solutions that they have. Google, as we shall talk about, they're offering solutions to the public or to their customers, but Microsoft still maintains the reason why these events are held, and it is largely for the developers. Now, Microsoft launched not it didn't really launch it, more or less renamed their cloud solution called the Azure solution, which is now called the Azure AI Foundry. In fact, almost all solutions now by Microsoft will have the Foundry name to it, which is largely to suggest that it is an agent, it's an AI agent that is going to make most of this their applications have some serious AI capabilities. In fact, when they were launching these solutions, or when they were doing their presentation, they actually hinted that they actually currently support over 1,900 models. Now, I'm sure most of us only know the OpenAI model, the DeepSeek model, and probably the one for Meta. But there are over 1,900 models that are specifically built for different things. Now, in this event, they announced that they were partnering, or they were including XAI, which is Elon Musk's platform called the Grok, and he even did a whole interview with Elon to just see what the future holds. So something, a break from the norm, is that they're going to be building most of these solutions. Some of them will be open source, some of them will be closed. But for a user of Microsoft, this is what it means. Now we shall start with what we call the Copilot. Copilot is like an assistant, if I can call it that. Copilot is an assistant that allows you, if you're using the Office 365 solution, you should be having Copilot as part of the offerings, especially if you're using it at an individual level. When you're using it in the corporate setup, you have to pay for the Copilot as an add-in. But what it does is, Copilot is like an assistant that is integrated to all the Microsoft Office solutions. You have Copilot for Word, you have Copilot on presentations, you have Copilot in Excel, you have Copilot even in the Outlook. And what it does is that it's like an AI. It's like an AI inside your different solutions, and it makes work almost almost bearable, because most of the time, when assuming you're writing a document or a report, if you have the AI, if you have the Copilot solution, it provides suggestions, it provides it helps you finish refine the content, it helps you do some editing of that content. So it's a very useful solution, as was before. But right now, and why this is very revolutionary, is that they're introducing now Copilot tuning, and I'll explain. Now imagine that you are a big farm in your region, whether you're an international farm or a local farm, or you're just a startup, but you are a startup that has a very high competitive edge, or which is largely dependent on the data that you guys have, and that you guys are using to give you that competitive edge. So you're a farm that has very strict security protocols on how you share data. Now, previously, if you're trying to improve a document or you're trying to do more research, you would have probably upload that document on OpenAI, right? Or any other large language model, and tell it maybe to refine or give you ideas on how to improve. If it's a marketing plan, you would have to share some information. If it's a product you're planning to launch, you might have to disclose to the AI that you're doing something in that space, of which somebody else who is doing research could be able to find. Now, with Copilot tuning, you are able to train your information or your data with the AI without the risk or the fear of that information being shared with other parties. So it is like having your own AI solution. While of course this product will be a charge solution, it allows this the farms, especially big farms, and if you're working in a corporate, you understand how most of the companies have very strict policies about sharing information on the internet, even if it is a productivity tool. So Copilot tuning will basically be an AI solution that will be tweaked to your company's data, and it will be learning from your company, providing solutions from your company without it being used to train other large language models, which is what most companies would find very very useful. And also in the Copilot space, they're also introducing what we call multi-agent capabilities. Remember, we said the main offering that Microsoft was pitching was that they are going to be the world's AI factory. Now, what multi-agent capabilities means is that you will be able to develop multiple agents to deliver on a task. Remember, you're this company that does not is working on a product launch. You have a very key. Let's say like you are Safaricom, and you have a very huge product that you're going to offer the market. And if Airtel were to get wind of it, they would probably steal the idea and to do the launch. Now you have to come up with a launch and marketing campaign for that product. Now with Copilot tuning, you will be able to deploy agents. One can come up with the campaign plan. Another one will be able to come up with creatives. Another one will be able to come up with copy, which is the content that goes into the poster. And another one will be able to execute it, while another one will be able to answer customer queries. So they're creating this system where if you're just one marketer, you'll be able to deploy different roles using agents to work on a task. Previously, what used to happen is you would have one agent working on a specific task. But now with this capability, different agents will be able to work on one singular goal. It's like having a team that can slowly execute the different tasks. If you're watching this content and you're a techie, you understand that GitHub is like the go-to platform for developers to train their code, to learn code and get more ideas from other developers. Now with this integration, now users of GitHub, of course, paid users, will be able to evolve how they do coding. Maybe you're debugging a problem. AI through the Copilot solution will be able to allow you. It will be like an assistant. It will be like an assistant for you to do coding better, and it will also allow you to perform different tasks. They call them for bug fixes. If you're running an app that has an issue, you can be able to deploy it on that platform. In my view, that main solution for Copilot and how they plan to deploy agentic solutions will be a very key change, or a very key development in this space.
I think that was an interesting news that was important for us to talk about. because even when you look at the online platform, especially YouTube, there has been a few conversations from different social media or online marketers who talk about AI agents. So when I listen to that kind of news, I can just relate with what people have been talking about, and the difference from what I've heard on the online platform is now with this one is they're giving you uh, different agents to perform different tasks, allowing you to be very efficient. I think it will help businesses who would use that to be very efficient, but it will have its own challenges because now, if the agents can be able to perform the tasks, then probably I'll not need as many people as before, if you're a company. If you understand, again, it will also call for you to understand the type of tasks you want the agents to perform, because I realized, like the examples they were using the coding language. Now for you to be able to see how the code works, you need to understand the coding, and then now okay, from here I can assign this task to this agent and this one, then I'll be able to put them together and be able to get my system or my program in place. So I think it's a very good initiative. Like AI is just growing by the day, and we look forward for more. I hope there's. I think there's going to be a lot of accuracy because even previously designing a system, you needed to use the computer. You were using codes, and the computer would be able to generate the program or the system. So I think that one, in terms of level of accuracy, I think it's not going to be a big deal. And one of the things I remember when I was in school, when we were trying to write codes, was you would literally look for the error and you're not able to get the error. Like you will debug a whole day and you're not able to get the error. Where will the problem be? So I think right now things are going to be faster because now the agents can easily detect where the error is. With a human eye, sometimes it was difficult. You had to stay and go through step by step for you to be able to detect. So I think we are yet to see how it comes into face, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's true. And what most of us sometimes maybe forget because of the language is when we talk about productivity tools.
Yeah.
This basically means you are going to do more with less. So whole idea of AI is to be able to maximize the productivity per user, which means if, like you've said, you are a company or an entity that probably has five staff, and you're deploying AI, the idea is that you can still retain five staff, but you'll be able to do work as if you are 10 staff. That is the whole idea of AI, which might affect, of course there might be some effects, but largely speaking, if you deploy AI or if you use AI as a worker in a farm well, the replacement your replacement will be harder than somebody who is not using, or a company that is not using AI. Because remember in a previous video, Vicky, you were talking about how we see AI changing how employment or how workforce will be, where people will be paid. You will be working as a marketer for multiple companies, deploying the solutions differently. Maybe this company needs you to help them with their marketing strategy. Another company needs you to help them create posters. Another company needs you to help them do videos. So in the future, I would say I'm still positive about what the future holds for anybody, whether you're in employment or not. But you just cannot avoid taking action in terms of how you plan and learn about how AI might impact your specific field. Now, one more thing on the Microsoft build that I think really got my attention, and I'm very excited to share with our audience, Vicky, is something they said they are developing what we call the Microsoft Natural Language Web Protocol. And what this was, and I noticed that even as I was doing research, it did not get a lot of attention, maybe because most people were not too keen on what they were saying, or It is not a product maybe to suit a lot of people. But this is what basically means. It is called the NL Web Protocol, which of course, like in full, is the natural language web protocol. For those who are in the development space, it's like Web 3.0, but now with enhancements of AI. Now, what this means is that Microsoft, and probably all other future companies, are seeing a future where websites will be transformed into agentic applications, such that you can interact, or agents will be able to interact with websites using natural language, and even users will be able to interact with websites like they are currently interacting with OpenAI, where you say, I offer uh, a service, and a customer, instead of coming to my website and scrolling, tapping different tabs, they'll be talking to the website, and the website does what they want. So a possible use case would be that you're offering an end-to-end customer journey solution for things like, we call them e-commerce site. Now, somebody wants to come to your site, Vicky, maybe to buy a gift, or to buy electronics, or to buy a car, or to buy anything, even an appointment with you as a consultant, or an event. Now, currently, what they do, they have to go to your website, they scroll through your homepage and all the products that you offer. Then they go and click on, maybe if it's a product, they click on it, they add to cart, then they check out, and then they confirm the purchase, right? Now, what this protocol, or this idea of this natural language web is that developers of websites will be designing their webs in such a way that if I go to Meta AI, or I go to, what's the other one, OpenAI, or I go to this one for Google, the remind me the name, Gemini,
Gemini.
and I say, let's say I'm in Kenya, so probably Gemini will have my location, and I say, give me I have a budget of 20,000. I want a phone, preferably Samsung. Give me the best three options for Samsung, and help me select the best company to where I can buy. Now, what will happen maybe in the next 1 or 2 years? They say 1 2 years, but it can even happen in months. The way these things are developing, what will happen is, what companies like Gemini and OpenAI will be doing is to try to help the customer journey better. Now, what will happen is, I have said, I have this budget, I have this amount, I am in this location, and I have this preference. Maybe it's a Samsung or an Apple or whatever. Now, the agent, what it does is, now it will go to the website, and because this is, remember, an agent is not a person. It's like a it's like an assistant that is a technology assistant which uses code. Now, what this protocol will allow is that that agent will be able to communicate with your site and give it your preferences. And that site, because it's understanding that it's interacting with an what's the word, with an AI tool, is that it will also be able to consume that information without having to click. You see how currently websites are structured, and Vicky, you can also comment on this, is that they work through prompts. You click here, you click here, you click here. But now, with how an AI agent can't click, it is just use it's almost communicating through natural language. Now, what will happen is that you are supposed to design your website, and I'm very excited for this, because we are also in this space, that you will be able to design our website that can understand that language and give results that agent takes to the customer, and the customer chooses whether to buy, or reserve, or to engage the service provider. And this is how I see, or even Microsoft and other developers are seeing the future develop. And why do I know this, that this is going to happen? I don't know, Vicky. We've worked with Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, and one thing I know about Gen Zs is they don't like making calls. So if I need to book an appointment, or if I need to know if this thing costs this price, as a Gen Z, I am rare. In fact, I rarely engage Gen Zs on call, because they won't even pick, they might even see your call and not pick, because they just have this aversion towards talking to people on calls. But a Gen Z can do one of the best researches and can get a product without using conversation. So for this product, for the future generation, maybe for people like in their 40s and 50s, they might be like, I need to call somebody, I need to go to the website and confirm this is what they are offering. But for the future users, Gen Z's, Gen Alpha, and whatever generation will come, this solution will be their go-to solution because they are native AI users.
I agree with what you're saying, that we will have to find how you uh, make your websites be, we have always been saying mobile friendly, user friendly, but now we are going to be talking about AI friendly.
Spot
Like you
on,
have
spot
to
on.
ensure, yeah, you have to ensure that whatever you are implementing on the website is going to fit or to blend well with the AI agents, because that's what is going to majorly work on those platforms. For me, what I also just wanted to mention about the news about Microsoft, when they were talking about the natural language, they had mentioned that you see, Microsoft has so many tools. We have the Outlook, we have the Office, you have the
PowerPoint.
search, yeah, every other different tool. So they mentioned that the natural language will be in a way that if you have integrated all those, there's a way you have linked those tools in one, like Google is able to understand, or Microsoft is able to understand that this is one and the same person. So when you search on a website, it can interact with you in your natural language, per se. Like it will understand. Vicky likes this. Vicky communicates in email on email like this. So even when he's talking to you and he's telling you, for you to book an appointment, you'll book on this date, they are available on this date at this time, you'll visit on this location. They'll be talking to you in a way that you'll be relating with the kind of communication or conversations they are mentioning. So if you like maybe email, or if you like conversing through Word as opposed to Excel, the communication will be coming in how you have been interacting with. That is now the long term way of how they would want to integrate all those tools and include AI. And when you have the agents talking through the different tools, when you interact with them, it understands what you like using, how you want to get the information, and then it will be able to reach to you the right way, the way you would say when you're doing marketing, preference of the customer. So it will be able to reach to the customer as specific as possible, if it's for Vicky as opposed to Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And you've said something about, yeah, we talk about mobile responsiveness and whatnot,
Yeah.
and it will be agent responsive.
Oh yeah,
It will
it's
be agent
responsive.
responsive
Yeah.
because right
Yeah.
now how we build sites, and of course my Asha Group Limited is one of the top developers of sites. How we build sites, we use the and the different templates that are being availed online. Is there is a way that webs are currently structured, but what will happen is for you to make a website that will be agent friendly, you will no longer be developing a website with it HTML and whatever code that current guys are currently using for plain website. You'll be now coding a website, because when you develop it using a template, an AI agent might not be able to understand that template, and maybe those companies offering templates will integrate it. So you see, AI is not necessarily replacing the whole industry. It's just making evolving the whole industry. But for developers like us, what we are seeing is that ultimately we shall now be building websites like how we build apps, where you develop it with code, because that's how an AI agent will be able to understand that side. So that's actually very, very impressive. And even we are talking about AI agents, but we also forget, when customers are used to searching and getting answers instantaneously, they will also be coming to our websites and interacting with the way they were interacting with ChatGPT. So again, with this example that you're offering kids clothes, so somebody right now they come and search. Okay, maybe your website has packages, your website has kids toys, your website has ladies dresses and whatnot. But a future user will come to a website and say, I have an upcoming baby shower. I have this budget, and I this the baby to be is a girl. So can you give me the best package? that will maximize my 5,000, and that query on your site will have to give them the result on your site. So I don't know if it makes sense, such that your site will be like a large language model on its own. And that's why I'm saying it's very exciting, because while we thought websites were going to go under, it's highly likely that you will still be able to make your website relevant, but you have to be one of the top folks to implement this before the majority of the companies come. So I'm very excited, and if you're keen on partnering with us on these solutions, as well as seeing how we can help you be agent ready, please reach out to us on our different contacts. Now, of course, we can't talk about AI without OpenAI. And OpenAI the other day announced, I don't know if they made a very, I don't know if it's, I can call it cryptic announcement. It was not an announcement, it was just a teaser of an announcement. And this was an announcement where the CEO of OpenAI, who is called Sam Altman, was interviewing, not even interviewing, but having a meeting with a gentleman who is, what's the
John
word of
Ivy.
this? Some John.
Ivy.
Yes, John Ivy, who was the designer for Apple. I don't know
Mm.
why they say he was very revolutionary. I don't see anything revolutionary about the iPhone, but hey, he was the
Was
designer
he
for the
designed the
iPhone.
first ones?
No, he designed the later ones. He designed the later ones. I think the mid, after there was the first one and then the second. I think there are several others that is. Maybe he designed the first one. I don't know. I'm not too curious on that gentleman. But OpenAI bought them. I think for, was it 5.6 billion
Yeah, 6 point
dollars,
six
6.5.
point five, six
Yeah, no,
point five
I'm
billion.
interchanging the word. Six point
Yeah.
five billion to be part of OpenAI, and it's an all share deal, which basically means they were getting shares into OpenAI's valued at that amount. So it's not that that guy became a billionaire overnight, but they have
Yeah.
been working with Sam Altman for quite a while. And I don't know, Vicky, if you have any sense of that announcement. I saw that it was a 10-minute clip, and all through I was wondering, what the hell is happening here? But
Yeah.
they were talking about reimagining the phone and whatnot. I think, Vicky, you can take lead on this one.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, the announcement was too short, and much of the conversation is like it was done on mute. Like you can see them having a conversation, but it's not, you're not able to hear what they are saying. So we were just you will just be able to guess, yeah, this where they met and probably this where they
It
agreed.
was scripted.
Yeah. So
I think
so
that's why I didn't like it. They could not even
but
fake the scripting.
it's mentioned that the Johnny owns 20 took the 6.5 billion was to take like 23% of the open source
Mm,
open AI, sorry, which subject to confirmation because that one is just information we got online. But I think for me, I got to understand since this Johnny Ivy, he actually had left Apple. He was
mm,
working with a different company. But I think for me, I felt like it was more of merging the resources as opposed to what he did. Like, because he had, according to the information on the news, he has experts in the field. He has good hardware, he has good software, he has people
mm,
who do great research. So it was more of merging what he does best and what the open AI do best, and then they're able to work together. Now, they had mentioned that they are going to revolutionize how how we operate with the phones, or how we communicate. Of which, when I just look at it, without thinking much, I'll just think maybe they are thinking of the um, glasses we are talking about, because they have not mentioned about iPhone. In fact, I think they had mentioned that iPhone shares went down after this conversation was aired online. But I think it's more of them thinking
speculation.
about, yeah, it's speculation. It's more of them thinking about either the glasses, or there are these microchips that we have been getting online, which I think the CEO of OpenAI had mentioned some time back last year of how you can be able to utilize that. So probably it's the microchips or the glasses. But the information is very gray. We are still waiting to see what they have in place. They just keep promising. So
Yeah, I think I wager that it will likely be an Alexa version, an improved Alexa version, which is like an assistant that you take with everywhere, has earphones, or has there's a way that you can communicate with it, and it has um, capabilities to maybe allow you to do everything, or you can plug it to your laptop. Like it will be, I see it like it will be like a gadget that is not a phone but can work with any phone and can work with anything. It's like a Bluetooth, maybe through Bluetooth. I don't know how they'll be able to do it,
yeah, I think it's a
but
microchip.
I don't. Microchip is, we are still too early for having that's my view, that we are still too early for people accepting to be put microchips in their bodies. So I foresee it will still be an external gadget. It'll just be, they're trying to a merger between a laptop and a phone, which somebody would say is a tablet, but just something I'm seeing like an assistant, an AI assistant, and it will take the form of maybe a pill or a earphone or just something like that, where um, or if you've watched Black Mirror, there is something that looks like earphones that also changes your how you think and whatnot. It's very utopian, but or dystopian, but who knows how this will be. So yeah, that's all we had to for today, and I really hope that you are excited as we are about the future of AI,
Yeah.
especially for that natural language web for us in the marketing scene. And of course, if you're a Google fan or a Google customer, you should be planning, probably start planning for your 3,500 shilling budget, because it will be almost impossible to operate in the new world without a subscription to an AI solution. And your life will be so much easier when you interact with or when you operate with these gadgets. But we wait to see what Apple has come June, and you can be sure that when they make the announcements, whether they are good or they are underwhelming, you shall be there to hear it first. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to host and to share with you the content and the information that has been shared in this tech spaces. So keep it locked for any marketing content, any tech content, and any relevant data and information in the AI space. I've been your host, Steven Atema, and my co host.
Victoria, like, share,
Bye.
subscribe. Bye.